The craziest thing about Landman Season 3 is that the show might return much sooner than anybody expected. And honestly, after the way Season 2 ended, that might be a very dangerous thing for every single character involved. Because this is no longer just a story about oil fields, cartel pressure, and corporate greed. The entire structure of the show has changed now. Tommy walking away from MTEX completely shifted the balance of power, and for the first time, it actually feels like nobody is truly in control anymore. That's what makes Season 3 so interesting already. Everyone is moving into unfamiliar territory at the exact same time. Tommy is trying to build something new from the ground up. Cammy is desperately holding on to a company that's slowly collapsing around her. Cooper is stepping into responsibilities he may not be ready for, and meanwhile, enemies from the past are still watching everything from the shadows. But what really shocked fans recently is the latest production update, because according to multiple reports connected to the show, Season 3 is moving way faster than expected behind the scenes. Apparently, episodes are already deep in development while post-production work has quietly started earlier than usual. And if that pace continues, Landman could realistically return before the end of 2026. I mean, think about how unusual that is for a show this massive. Taylor Sheridan projects usually take their time because of the scale, the locations, and the production schedule. But this time, things feel different. It almost feels like Paramount knows they have something huge on their hands right now, and they don't want to lose momentum. Especially after Season 2 exploded in popularity online. And honestly, the timing makes perfect sense because Season 3 may end up being the most important season the show has ever done. Not because of explosions or action scenes, but because every storyline is finally reaching a breaking point. Tommy may have escaped MTEX, but he didn't escape the world he helped create. That's the problem. You can walk away from a company, but you can't walk away from powerful people who lost money because of your decisions. And that's exactly why this new company Tommy is building already feels dangerous before it even officially starts operating. Because from the outside, it looks hopeful. It looks clean. It looks like a fresh beginning. But in a Sheridan universe, fresh beginnings usually come right before absolute chaos. And deep down, Tommy probably knows that too. The way Season 2 ended almost felt too calm compared to everything that happened earlier in the series. That silence at the end? It didn't feel peaceful. It felt like the calm before something terrible happens. Especially because Tommy is finally surrounding himself with people he actually trusts instead of people forced together by business. Cooper becoming president wasn't just symbolic. That decision changes everything moving forward. Tommy is basically forcing his son into a position where failure suddenly becomes very public and very dangerous. Cooper is no longer protected anymore. If this company collapses, everyone will blame him first. And honestly, I think that pressure is exactly what Season 3 will focus on. We've seen Cooper survive violence, investigations, and personal trauma already, but responsibility might end up being the thing that finally breaks him. Because now he has people depending on him. Ariana depends on him. Tommy depends on him. The entire company depends on him. And the scary part is that success in Landman usually comes with consequences attached to it. Every single time someone starts becoming stable in this universe, something arrives to destroy that stability. That's why I'm genuinely worried about what Season 3 is setting up behind the scenes. Especially with the way the writers positioned certain characters before the finale ended. Cammy, for example, may become the biggest threat in the entire show moving forward. And honestly, I don't even think she fully realizes it yet. After Monty's death, she convinced herself that saving MTEX was the same thing as saving her identity. That company became personal for her. It stopped being business a long time ago. The problem is that almost everybody around her has already emotionally moved on except her. Tommy left. Nate refused the opportunity to replace him. Even Galeno made it painfully clear where his loyalty actually stood. None of them truly believed in MTEX anymore. But Cammy still does. Or at least she wants to. And sometimes, people become the most dangerous when they refuse to accept reality. That's exactly why Season 3 feels so unpredictable already. Because this conflict is no longer just external. It's emotional now. Personal now. Everyone is fighting for something deeper than money at this point. And honestly, that's why the release update matters so much. If the show really is returning sooner than expected, then we're probably much closer to seeing these storylines explode than anybody originally thought. Season 3 also has another huge advantage working in its favor right now, and strangely enough, it's the fact that the show no longer needs to spend time introducing this world to the audience. That part is over. We already understand how brutal this business can become. We already know how quickly loyalty changes when power and money enter the picture. And most importantly, we finally understand Tommy as a character in a way we didn't during Season 1. At first, Tommy almost felt untouchable. No matter how chaotic things became, he always seemed like the smartest person in the room. Even when situations spiraled out of control, there was still this feeling that Tommy could somehow manage it. But Season 2 quietly changed that perception. For the first time, we saw exhaustion catching up to him. Not physical exhaustion. Emotional exhaustion. You could feel it in the way he talked, the way he handled conflict, even the way he reacted to his own family. Tommy started realizing that surviving this world and controlling it are two completely different things. And honestly, I think Season 3 is going to push that realization even further. Because building a new company sounds exciting in theory, but in reality, Tommy is basically painting a giant target on his back. The moment he walked away from MTEX, he created enemies on every side. Some people will see him as a traitor. Others will see him as competition. And then there are the people who simply don't trust anyone powerful enough to start over that quickly. That's the terrifying thing about success in the Landman universe. Every victory attracts attention. And attention in this world usually leads to violence sooner or later. What makes this even more interesting is the people Tommy decided to bring with him. Rebecca becoming COO and chief counsel might honestly be one of the smartest decisions he's ever made. She understands how dangerous these situations can become before anybody else does. That's why her presence matters so much moving forward. Unlike some of the other characters, Rebecca doesn't romanticize this world. She sees it clearly. She understands that business meetings can turn into legal disasters overnight, and that personal relationships inside the company could eventually become weaknesses. And honestly, I think Season 3 will put her in incredibly difficult situations because of that awareness. She's probably going to become the person constantly trying to stop disasters before they happen while everyone else keeps making emotional decisions around her. But even Rebecca may not be prepared for what's coming next, because there's one storyline that still feels extremely unfinished. Cooper and Ariana. Their relationship finally found stability near the end of Season 2, but honestly, that stability feels almost suspicious. And if there's one thing Sheridan shows love doing, it's destroying peaceful moments right when characters begin feeling safe. The situation with Ariana's attacker may be legally over, but emotionally and politically, it feels far from finished. The detectives pushed too hard for this storyline to simply disappear forever. People connected to that man clearly had influence, and influence like that rarely disappears quietly. That's why I keep thinking Season 3 is setting up something much darker in the background. Maybe not immediately. Maybe the danger stays hidden for a while. But eventually, it's going to come back. And the scary part is that Cooper may not even see it coming because for the first time in his life, he's finally beginning to feel optimistic. He has Ariana. He has purpose. He has responsibility inside Tommy's new company. Everything around him is improving at the exact moment. It probably should make him nervous instead. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the writers are intentionally building toward a major tragedy involving him. Especially because the show keeps emphasizing growth every time Cooper appears on screen now. And in stories like this, characters usually grow the most right before they lose something important. Even Ariana's role inside the company feels bigger than people realize. Bringing her into the office wasn't just about giving her screen time or keeping her involved in the narrative. It symbolized something much deeper. Tommy is building a company based on trust and loyalty instead of fear and control. That's completely different from the environment MTEX operated under. But the problem is that idealistic systems are often the easiest to destroy because they depend on people staying loyal under pressure. The second fear enters the equation, everything starts cracking apart. And honestly, That's exactly what I think Season 3 is slowly preparing us for. This company looks strong right now because everyone inside it still believes in the vision. But what happens when real pressure arrives? What happens when somebody gets threatened? What happens when money disappears? What happens when personal relationships begin interfering with business decisions? Those are the kinds of questions Landman Season 3 seems ready to explore. And if production truly is moving faster behind the scenes like recent reports suggest, then we may not have to wait very long to see all of this unfold.